A good political activist, yes, he or she has to be well read. I don't think there's any getting around it. You have to have some sense of history. The world isn't it's not a transparent place. Trying to make sense of the economics is not easy. It's not an easy task. So you have to be well read. But no matter how well read you are, you're never going to be as successful in politics unless two things obtain. Number one, you have to have deep roots in people. You have to be among the people. Politics is about moving people to act. That's our politics. When you're in positions of power, well, you're at the levers of power, and there are many levers you have which don't involve people. You have repressive forces, you have economic forces, you have lots of levers. When you're a people's movement, you have one thing. Your only asset is people. And you have to deal with real people, not the people of your imagination, not the people you wish people would be, but people as they exist actually out there in the real world. And so you have to be among the people, hear what they're saying, know what they're thinking, and then you'll be able to figure out what is a realistic demand and what is not. Having said that, I also think politics is a knack. It's not something you learn in books, and not necessarily something you are going to acquire by being among people. There is something to be said for this completely impalpable thing called good political instincts, good political judgment. I think Gandhi had very good political judgment. He knew the people, which he had to, but he also had good judgment. He relied on what he called his inner voice. I remember a few years ago I was in South Africa and I spent some time with his granddaughter Ella, and she mentioned in the course of conversation, she said Gandhi had great faith in his inner voice. Now that sounds very mystical, inner voice, Hare Krishna. No, inner voice is just what we call good political judgment. You're in a situation. I have a very close friend, Alan Nairn, the most brilliant political mind, in my opinion, in the world today. And whenever I'm in a jam, whenever I have a problem, I say, Alan, what should I do? Because I know the guy has very good political judgment. Now, it's true, a lot of it comes from experience. He's been involved, he was one of Nader's disciples from age 16. So he's got lots of rich experience, lived everywhere in the world, and so on and so forth. And then he just got good judgment. He just does, So, and Gandhi had good judgment. It was what he called his inner voice. A lot of it, of course, comes from rich experience. Rich experience gives you good judgment. But also, he just had it. He had a good knack for politics. So, I would say anything I have to say has to be, prefaced by those three statements. You have to be well-read. You have to have deep roots among the people, and you have to be fortunate enough to have good political instincts, of which only a few people do have, in my opinion.